Hello, this is Heather Hoffman, and I have a fun, tropical, juicy, bright colored card to share with you today using Reverse Confetti's Mahalo stamp set. It's a really unique stamp set. I love that there's several stamps that you can stamp to fill in. You can color the image, but you can also stamp in. So I'm using a rainbow of Reverse Confetti Dye Inks to color it in. And I'm starting off by stamping my main image using dark roast. I could have used a black ink, but I wanted a little bit of a softer, brighter feel, and that's a good deep dark brown that looks a little softer. And then I'm going to use an older technique called the rock and roll technique, and I'm using pistachio ink and lime green. And I first inked up the fill-in for the coconut with the pistachio, the lighter ink, and then I just rolled the bottom edge in the lime green, and look at the dimension you get in the two-tone colors that you get with that. It's kind of a fun technique, and I'm going to do that again for the umbrella. And the two colors I'm using are magenta and wine. I dipped it first in the magenta, and then I just rolled the top in the wine. It's a little hard to see in the pictures, but it's another fun two-tone effect on that. The straw, I just picked one color. I did Bumblebee, a nice bright fun yellow, and I stamped that and filled that in. And then I picked the Mahalo sentiment from the set, and despite having a brother and sister that lived in Hawaii for several years, I blanked out thinking that mahalo meant hello and goodbye. It actually means thank you, but it can also, according to Wikipedia, mean a few other things. So that's why I ended up using it on my birthday card, which I know might not be a good fit, but I'm going to go with the Wikipedia meaning. And I did this also with two-tone inking. I did the same magenta and wine dye ink, and I colored the top with the lighter and the bottom for kind of an ombre effect. Again, just a little more interest and a fun way to use your inks a little bit differently. Now I'm going to use the coordinating dies to cut those out, and I like to line them up in place and use Post-it tape or another removable tape just to hold them in place. Nothing worse than your die sliding when you're going through and you've already stamped and finished it, and then you have to redo it. So I've died to cut those out. Now I'm going to stencil a background for my card, and I've pulled out the leaf lattice stencil and just a panel. All of this I'm using the Reverse Confetti Premier white cardstock. It's nice and smooth, great for stamping, great for stenciling, it's great for coloring. For this, my stenciling, I'm going to use Bellini and Coral dye inks, and I'm using just Distress ink round foam blenders. And I'm going to start with the lighter, the Bellini, and I'm blending that just kind of in the bottom. And I'm not trying to fill the whole card. I'm kind of trying to be a little, keep it a little darker towards the center, and then fade out around the edges. And if you dip your foam blender in the ink and then kind of tap it off a little bit, you'll get a smoother blend. You don't get the lumps as much. You don't have to rub a bunch of the ink off. It just kind of gets the initial blob off. So I've added in the Coral dye ink on that top corner, and peel that stencil off. Look at that fun background. Isn't it perfect for a fun tropical card? All right, now I'm going to add my pieces that I did before. I'm going to use foam adhesive to attach these, and I'm going to add a sentiment from this is where my birthday sentiment comes in. If I had looked closer, I would have used more of a thank you sentiment, but that's okay. Banner and Bloom is the set I used for that. And I stamped it also in the dark roast, the same as I did for the outline of my fun little drink. So I'm adding foam adhesive to the back. Add as much as you like. I feel like I say this all the time, but I kind of find myself maybe overusing foam adhesive, but I really like my cards to be sturdy and stable when they're finished, and know that I can send them in the mail and that they'll arrive looking just as good as when I send them, and not have anything squished or fallen off or anything like that. So I hold the Mahalo over the top just to make sure I'm happy with where I end up placing it, and then I'm just going to use my glue pen to attach the part that goes over the drink. A little more on that side over there. All right, and there you have it. Now I just mounted it on a white card base with a little bit of a border on the edges. Thanks so much for stopping by. Hope you have a wonderful day.